Assalamualaikum and good day. This is Ma'am Siti Aina Pandapatan. We're here again to discuss about the study skills that you need to learn so that you can be an effective student in studying any field. Another skill that you should master is the summarizing and paraphrasing. So let's start with the summarizing. Summarizing is a brief account containing the main points in something that is said or read in your own words. An abstract, a digest, or a synopsis. In this summary, you present points in their original order without distorting their meaning and omit supporting details and repetitions. Its length is one-third or one-fourth of the original text. In summarizing, there are five values that we should consider. The first one is that it is one of the best methods for review. The next one is it leads to an improved ability to condense. To condense means to summarize or to make things short. Another one is it helps one to distinguish between the main ideas and the supporting ideas. The fourth one is it helps one reveal the main points in a reading or listening activity, but most of the time in reading. And the last one is it leads to the ability to organize and write coherent and complete answers on written examinations. In fact, summarizing is very helpful in reviewing because through summarizing, you're not just reading but also writing the important points that should be considered. The main goal of summarizing is to make the original shorter without changing its meaning. The main idea is retained, leaving out details and minor examples. To build up your skills in summary writing is to write single sentence summaries of whole paragraphs. One sentence that tells the most important meaning of a paragraph is the meat or is the focus of the summary. Okay, there are steps to be considered also in making a summary. Number one, read the whole passage to be summarized. So, this involves careful reading or the critical reading. You cannot summarize if you will not read the whole text. The next one is look for the sentence that expresses the main idea or tells generally what the selection is all about. The other one is be sure that you understand all the vocabulary and concepts. In this, you may use dictionary to understand some unfamiliar words you will meet during the reading process. The fourth one is look for and number the key points that back up the main idea. So, um, you are free to doodle. Doodle means write anything that will make it more readable for you. Okay, so highlight those key points that you want to emphasize. The fifth one is put the main idea and its supporting points in sentences, preferably in your words. Once that you um, write it in your own words, there is a possibility that it will really retain in your mind. Number six is combine or subdivide sentences. What does it mean is that when you combine several facts and ideas in one sentence, make their connections clear. Avoid combining information without any logical connection. Again, in summarizing, it is very important na just include the main ideas only. And also the supporting points that will support the main ideas. Another one is number seven, avoid repeating unnecessary words from the original material. Leave out all but the most important details. And number 8, form a coherent paragraph or a number of paragraphs. You may change the order of sentences. Okay, so I hope these steps will make it easier for you to summarize some text that needed to be summarized. Okay, so this is an example of a summary. Okay, so this is the original text here. When you read this, it is long, but in summary, you came up with a shorter version. Okay, so when I summarized this, or when this was summarized, um, it considered the steps in making a summary based on what I have said a while ago. The next study skill is the paraphrasing. Paraphrasing is a way of restating. It is actually a restatement of what is said or written by another individual. It is restating in your own words, and it is usually used in literary texts such as in poetry to understand their meaning easier. Now, in paraphrasing, um, it is maybe as long as or even longer than the original text. It is restating your own words, the things you have heard or read without attempting to condense the original materials. Okay, the summary and paraphrase, or summarizing and paraphrasing, is different. Besides interpretation, the paraphrase is usually used in literary texts, as I said a while ago. Okay, a sentence can be paraphrased by using familiar words for difficult words. So, instead of using the difficult words from the text, you may use the familiar words to paraphrase it. We call this lexical paraphrasing. It can also be paraphrased by changing the structure or the order. That's what we call structural paraphrasing. Okay, here are the examples for those kinds of paraphrasing: the lexical and the structural. Okay, now if you paraphrase this, it could be, after taking her medicines, she felt sleepy. It is lexical paraphrase in a sense na na-change yung drowsy to sleepy. Okay? Wait. Drowsy is changed into sleepy. Okay, here. So that's what we call lexical paraphrasing. At the same time, it is also structural paraphrasing because the structure of the sentence is also changed. Another example is the structural paraphrase. In this sentence, the farmers used the new technology in planting rice. It could be paraphrased like this: the new technology in planting rice was used by the farmers. In this sense, it is from active voice to passive voice. In that way, you can paraphrase the sentence. Again, used it is paraphrased using the structural paraphrase. Okay, here are the rules of paraphrasing for your guide. Number 1, retain the meaning of the original material. Even though na-change na yung isang text, still, you should retain the meaning. Next, rewrite the material in about the same number of words. Or maybe it could be longer, but it should not be like one sentence yung original and then pag i-paraphrase mo, naging one paragraph. So that's a no-no. Number 3, Put quotation marks around any phrase from the original that you retain. The fourth one, use direct, concrete vocabulary in place of technical jargon. Yun yung sinasabi ko kanina na instead of using the difficult word or the terms used in the in the text, use a direct and concrete vocabulary at the same time yung familiar vocabulary. The fifth one, break the complex ideas into smallest units of meaning. Number six, vary the sentence patterns. Seventh, use synonyms for the words in the source. The eighth one, compare the paraphrase and the original. Baka masyadong lumayo na yung meaning. And the last one is include an in-text citation to the author and page number like this. Okay, so this is an in-text citation. You acknowledge the author of that text. Okay, here are other examples of the paraphrasing. Okay, here in the first example, we have this one. Okay, as have you noticed, yung original na sentence is not that long. Pero pagdating sa paraphrase, it is now long. Okay? So it depends on how you presented the sentence in the paraphrase. Okay. However, in the second example, the original sentence or text is very long, but in the paraphrase, it is shorter now. Again, you should retain the meaning of it even though humaba or humaba or lumiit yung number of words na ginamit mo in paraphrasing. Okay, so that would be all. Thank you for listening.